Well, I bought the lakefront house. I thought I'd found paradise. No neighbors, no rules, just me, the water, and a quiet that felt like a warm blanket after years of grinding through corporate deadlines. The place was a gem mold, but charming, with a sprawling backyard and an in-ground pool that needed some love but screamed potential. I'd left behind a high-stress tech job, and all I wanted was to sip coffee on the porch, listen to the wind, and maybe fix up that pool into something I could be proud of. The sellers, a sweet elderly couple MOVYing to be near their kids, handed me a folder stuffed with every document you could imagine. Deed, zoning approvals, surveys from the 90s, even a photo album of the house through the decades. Most importantly, they confirmed what my realtor swore up and down. This place was free and clear of any homeowners association. Never had been, never would be. I triple-checked with the county registry, just to be sure. The land was mine, down to the last blade of grass. I moved in and got to work. The old fence was falling apart, so I hired a crew to put up a tall, solid privacy fence. Nothing fancy, just enough to say, this is my space. I wasn't trying to be a jerk, but I liked knowing where my property ended and the world began. While the fence went up, I started dreaming about the pool new tiles, LED lights, maybe a hot tub. Nothing over the top, just a backyard that felt like home instead of a forgotten motel. For the first month, life was perfect. I worked remotely, took breaks by the pool, and read books I'd been too busy to crack open for years. Then one evening, as the sun sank and the cicadas started their nightly hum, I saw something weird out the back window. At first, I thought it was a bird on the fence, but then it moved a head, bobbing, peeking over my brand-new barrier like a nosy owl on a shaky branch. I stepped outside, and there she was, Linda Harris, blonde hair and a crisp bob, polo shirt tucked like she was auditioning for a country club. She was balanced on a stepladder, clutching a laminated sheet of paper, staring into my yard like she was inspecting a crime scene. "Can I help you?" I asked, my stomach already nodding. She didn't even blink. "I'm Linda Harris, president of the Willow Creek HOA. This pool is listed as a community amenity on the 2003 sub-VY Shown map." She waved her paper like it was a royal decree. "Lot D, recreational space. This belongs to the neighborhood." I stood there, dumbfounded. "No," I said, keeping my voice steady. "This is private property. I've got the deed, the surveys, everything. It's not in your HOA." Her eyes narrowed like I'd just spit in her coffee. "I suggest you check again," she said, stepping down from the ladder with a huff. "If this is the pool, I think it is, you're not the only one who gets to use it." She marched off, Leah VYing me shirtless, towel over my shoulder, wondering what the hell I'd stepped into. 2 days later, a certified letter arrived, complete with a fancy envelope and a return address screaming, "Willow Creek HOA, Office of the President." I opened in the kitchen, coffee in hand, bracing for nonsense. Sure enough, Linda claimed archival documents proved my pool was a shared asset, accidentally left off current HOA records. She demanded I open it to the neighborhood, complete with a schedule: Tuesday mornings for water aerobics, weekend for family picnics. I had 7 days to comply, or they'd pursue formal measures. I laughed out loud, then read it again to make sure I wasn't dreaming. A schedule for some I saw pool? I snapped photos and emailed them to my lawyer buddy Mike, who confirmed I was in the Clerno HOA contract, no covenant, nothing. I sent a polite but firm reply, attaching my deed and county records, and thought that'd be the end of it. Boy, was I wrong. That weekend, my friend Jake came over to check out the new pool lights. We were chilling by the water, beers in hand, music low, when shouting erupted from the other side of the fence. Linda was back, flanked by 2 guys in matching polos, all wielding clipboards like weapons. "Your VY OLADing community policies," she yelled. "This is an HOA registered amenity." I sat up, squinting into the sun. "You're on the wrong property," I called back. One of the guys snapped a photo of us, muttering about documenting noncompliance. Jake raised an eyebrow. "Is this normal here?" "Apparently," I said, cranking the music just enough to drown her out. Linda kept screaming, and soon one of her goons was on the phone. 20 minutes later, red and blue lights flashed in my driveway. Jake groaned. "Are you kidding me?" I threw on a shirt and headed to the front because apparently relaxing in my own yard now came with a police escort. Two cops stepped out, one young and stiff, the other older and looking like he'd rather be fishing. "Sir, are you the homeowner?" the young one asked. "Yeah, Ethan Carter," I said, keeping it calm. They'd gotten a call about a disturbance and unauthorized use of community property. I pulled up my security footage on my phone, showing Linda's crew yelling while I sipped a beer in a lounge chair. "Here's what happened," I said. "I've got more if you need it." The older cop watched the video, handed my phone back, and asked for my deed. I spread out the documents on the porch: deed, zoning map, tax records, all clean. The young cop's posture softened. "This looks in order," he said. "She said you were hostile," the older one added. I shook my head. Didn't even talk to her. Just turned up the music and ignored them. They scribbled a report, took my footage, and left, promising to mark it a non-issue. As they drove off, Linda shot me a death glare from across the street. I waved with a smile, then went back to my beer. The next morning, a teenage girl knocked on my door, handed me a flyer, and scurried off. It read, "Community alert. Reclamation of shared pool underway. Temporary inaccessibility due to hostile occupation by non-HOA resident." There was a blurry photo of me by the pool, looking like some lawless squatter. By noon, the HOA's Facebook page was a war zone. A pinned post with the same photo screamed, "Our pool has been taken, but we won't give up." Hashtags like the "Take Back the Water" popped up, as if they were storming a fortress. Linda was in the comments every 10 minutes, reposting her fake map and promising legal action. Then came the stickers, red and white decals slapped on my gate and fence, reading, "Community amenity temporarily closed." I peeled them off, but that night, my security camera caught someone digging through my trash, snapping photos of the crumpled flyer like it was EVY Denke. I'd had enough. I started documenting everything: stickers, posts, footage. I called Sarah Thompson, a real estate lawyer with a reputation for shredding HOAs. She took one look at my folder of EVY Denke and said, "They really thought this would work?" We sent a cease and desist letter to the HOA, warning that further harassment would mean a lawsuit. Sarah dug deeper, and we hit gold. The fake map Linda loved was edited 6 months ago by her husband, Greg Harris, a disgraced former zoning consultant. The font didn't match. The label was crooked with a Microsoft Paint disaster. Better yet, Greg had a history of trying to rezone private lots for public use. This wasn't just Linda's power trip. It was a scheme. Then the HOA sued me. The complaint was wild. They wanted an easement for pool access, cash for loss of use, and an injunction against my hostile occupation. Sarah replied, "Let's bury them." At the preliminary hearing, Linda's lawyer waved the fake map like it was gospel, but Sarah was ready. She presented the original map, the metadata tying it to Greg, and an old interview EW from a resident, Harold Jensen, who swore my property was always private. Harold's recent affidavit of VYT claiming otherwise? A lie, likely coerced by Linda. Sarah even dropped a bomb. HOA financial records showed Linda had used their funds for flyers, signs, and get this, bolt cutters listed as property access tools. The judge's face said it all. He dismissed the case, affirmed my ownership, and hinted at sanctions for Linda's fraud. She sat there, stone-faced, as her lawyer scrambled. The fallout was brutal. The HOA had to pay me due $120,000 in damages. Linda stepped down as president, and Greg vanished from the neighborhood rumor mill. The HOA imploded, board members quit, their funds tanked, and the city launched an inquiry into their overreach. Residents were mortified. One even brought me a pie as an apology. I fixed the gate, added more cameras, and threw a neighborhood party by the pool. No HOA loyalists dared show their faces, but everyone else came, laughing about the saga. I unveiled a new sign: private property. Not your pool. Not your HOA. It got cheers. As the stars came out, I sat by the water, feet dangling, finally at peace. My house, my land, my silencer stirred. But here's where it gets juicy, folks. Was I too harsh, while VYing that sign like a VY Tory flag? Should I have tried talking to Linda before lawyering up? Or was she so far gone that only a courtroom could stop her? And what about the neighbors who stayed silent cowards or just caught in her web? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if your team, keep your pool. And subscribe for more stories where the little guy fights back. Let's hear it. What would Sayusa have done?